Welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I'm Chica, your conscious mentor, and today's video is going to be a little bit different, but I do think it is very helpful for a lot of you guys during this time, as you are probably going through a lot of shifts, and that is on how to self-love. Like, what exactly is self-love and how to be happy with loving yourself more. Some of us don't really know what love is because all we know is pain. And this was something that was reminded to me today when I did a healing with one of my mentors, just learning that she needed to feel love. She needed to understand what love is because she either came from a household where love was absent or perhaps had a wounded love given to her and she didn't know anything else but that. So I'm really hoping that this video really helps you understand what is self-love and what exactly is ways that you can, love yourself. So I will be sharing 3 ways that you can love yourself more and have really helped me heal my self-love for myself and my heart chakra and my being 100 times faster. I really wish I knew these things earlier, but at the same time, I always say things happen for a reason, and I think Spirit made it the way that it is so I can share it with you guys here. So before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe, as well as put notification bells. I do videos weekly for you guys, and if you feel called to go deeper, you can definitely join the Conscious Shadow Rebirth program. It's an 8-week program going deeper into loving ourselves, into healing our being, like our inner child, into, the plant medicine, and so much more. And I also do one-on-one mentoring, and you can sign up for that down below so you can apply. I'm so excited for this. Today's subscriber of the day is Debbie and Brown. Thank you so much for being part of this family. I love you guys so much, and I really just love doing videos. Like, we hang out, get some coffee, some tea, and we just chill and chat, and I just really look forward to doing these videos. Let's get into what exactly is self-love and how do we love ourselves. So the first thing I want to say is love is not just affirmations and meditation. I know it is part of, the practice of loving ourselves, but I see a lot of people, doing the meditation, doing the healing, and still feeling like they don't love themselves. And I know how that feels because in the past I would do the meditations and I would still feel like I wasn't getting to the root of why I couldn't truly accept myself and love myself. And some ways that you can know if you aren't loving yourself or there might be a lack of self-love is if you feel a lot of grief, sadness, so like depression, or just like that kind of energy as well, and anger. A lot of people don't know that anger is actually a representation of not feeling loved or not understanding love, and we see it in the world all the time. There is hatred in this world, and I really hope that these healings and just being on this channel helps you create some more love in your life, because I honestly think if more people were to start their day with cacao, or if more people were able to hold space to understand that they are wounded and really consciously heal their heart, heal their space, and understand what exactly is love and receiving it, our world would be a little bit more peaceful. And we're working towards that because obviously you guys are doing the work and you're doing the shadow work. So I want to thank you for doing this healing and starting it with the channel here. So I wrote down some of the things that I love doing, and my favorite self-love practices that I do daily or throughout the week, or whenever I feel like I do a healing personally with myself and I notice that something comes up, and these are going to be really great to help you out. So the first thing that I wrote down here is 10 minutes of sunbathing. Yes. And I know we all live in other places, but sunbathing is so amazing. Even if you're able to go on Amazon and get those like sun lights. I don't know if you guys have heard of these before. I'll try to get a picture of it and post it here for you. But they're actually these like lights that you can put by your bedside table, and they give you like endorphins of the sun. So if you live in places like Vancouver or maybe in the UK where maybe you don't get as much sun, I would highly suggest doing and getting some sun as much as possible. Also using vitamin D. I'm not a doctor or anything, but I've noticed that I have a huge difference getting vitamin D and keeping up with my immune system, but also just my body and my being. I noticed a huge shift. Now the sun is such a great energizer. It is amazing for just energizing and giving us these endorphins, but it's also great for actually cleansing and purifying our third eye. And in our third eye, we hold a lot of space of, sadness and grief. And it's kind of like this where our mind self-sabotages ourselves. And I found a lot of the times when I was sad, I was just kept on replaying the past experience experiences and my anxiety and like things that were not working for me in my life. And when I can be rejuvenated by the sun and really cleanse that space, I can fully just open up. And I get so many downloads, guys, when I'm doing 10 to 5 minutes of sunbathing. Even if it's just 5 minutes that you go on your lunch break, you sit in the park and you just like listen and feel the sun, or you know, you go outside for a bit. And I know it's so easy for us to be inside because I'm an introvert. I love being inside too, but we need that sun. That sun's gonna really help purify and cleanse the energy, just like it cleanses our crystals. It can also cleanse our aura and our being here and open up ourselves for more loving energy. And I promise you, just doing this 3 times in a row every day, just for 5 to 10 minutes, you're gonna see such a big difference with your mood and just receiving, where can I love myself? Where can the sun energy teach me that the love and essence is right here, and where do I need to open up? And it's just such a beautiful feeling. I feel like I'm a cat bathing in the sun when I go and do my sunbathing, and I just like download. And sometimes I'll sit there and I'll meditate, and that's where meditation can be used as a tool to consciously be aware of how to use the sun energy to tap into that sadness and grief and open it up and heal it. And that's what the sun does. It heals that space as well. I also want to mention that a lot of sadness and grief comes into someone telling us who we aren't, or telling us, releasing judgment on us in our life. And it might be in your inner child. Maybe your parents were just always wanting more from you, always wanting things from you. Maybe your siblings, maybe the people at school. You were just that person that always felt like the world wanted more from you and you needed to give more of yourself. And there was that sadness that comes in, and that truly affects our being, who I am, the I am mantra, which is connected to the solar plexus. And with the I am mantra, it's like, who am I? You know, am I love? Am I sadness? Am I grief? Am I not accepted? Am I abandoned? Like, these energies come up. So when we connect with the sun, it's fully rejuvenating ourselves. It's cleansing our third eye. It's allowing us to be a complete vessel of understanding how we can cleanse and release with the sun and the earth here. So super powerful. The second way of how to love yourself, be more happy, and just give more self-love is by working with yourself and massaging yourself. So one thing that I've been practicing is a lot of breast massage and stomach and yoni massage. And I do actually do this with my healing. I heal people with creating a sacred space for them to work in this space. But one thing you can do at home is actually massaging your chest. Our heart is a space where it holds a lot of energy, just like our jaws here, where it holds a lot of just clenching, and we don't really understand how much we hold space, and well, actually don't hold space to communicate what we truly want. So if you just put your fingers here and rub, you can see if it's dense here, there might be a lot of just like, you know, stress, but also like you preventing yourself from communicating certain things in your subconscious. Now, when we hold into the heart here, just holding here with me and closing your eyes and just breathing into the heart, here is the entrance of our portal. And for women, like, you know, there's a lot of just like negativity towards our chest, and you know, this is literally the entrance of reverence to our portal. And men too, they still have that heart space too. And the beautiful thing is, like, when we have that, it's important for us to move that energy, to move out of that grief, to release it. So simply doing some massages would be great. And there's no wrong way of doing this. You can use massage oil or coconut oil, organic coconut oil, and you can even put a little couple drops of lavender, or sometimes I put rose in there and I massage my body. But I noticed such a big difference in my heart space and just opening up my energy. And you know, when you're massaging, don't be surprised if you feel this resistance or crying or sadness come up. Fully allow yourself to breathe through that. That's what's gonna help you honor and hold space for the times that you didn't feel love. When did I not feel love? Asking yourself this mantra. What does this sadness come from? And breathing into this. Breath is going to help you move the energy out of the body, as well as you're working through your lymphatic system here by moving this energy out of your body. And by doing that, you're really releasing the stagnant energy. So many people who have, you know, lumps and bumps in their chest, or even breast cancer, various things that happen, I always say that it's important for us to work inside out, so energetically outwards. And that's what happens when people get a lot of diseases or lung issues or heart disease and all of those things, is because there is some grief here, there is some sadness, there is some anger, and it could be ancestral, it could be your inner child. I always say that a lot of the times it's things that happen in our lifetime here, and this is where we can really open up the space, open up the heart, open up the being in this energy. And this is so powerful, guys. This is so powerful. I've done this like straight this week, like 3 times in a row. And I just noticed such a big difference in the way that I open my heart, the way that when things come up, like anger comes up, I'm able to release it, but then come back into this definite of love. And this is why a lot of people end up having really happy times and then they end up getting depressed. It's because we're not opening the energy. It is like, it's a constant exercise. We can't just do it once and be like, okay, now that the sadness is gone, the grief is gone, the anger is gone, I can just be on with my day. Some days when I'm feeling really good, these are also one of the most memorable and most moving ceremonies that I have with myself when I'm doing self-massage. You can also massage the stomach, as the stomach is a lot of the areas where we hold a lot of emotion, suppression, guilt, shame, if you're feeling those emotions there, self-judgment, lack of self-confidence, which is all about self-love, the solar plexus, so just simply massaging that part underneath your chest. I don't know if you guys can see, but just here, massaging underneath the breastbone and just massaging here, like showing you guys here. But you can massage all this area, and it's really gonna open up the body, open up the energy here, and it's so powerful. And like I said, there's no like wrong way of massaging. And I like to put either some heart meditation music or even some crystal bowl music that's on YouTube. There's a lot of great ones here, and I'll listen to that and I'll just kind of like be in my space. I might burn some Palo Santo and some sage, create space for it, and really allow myself to honor the textures of the emotions that are coming out and allow myself to understand it more. And I love doing intuitive writing right after, because it allows me to just really come into myself, come into my being, and it is so powerful, guys. The last and definitely not least out of the 3 things that you need to do in order to love yourself, that's gonna really help you with your self-love, opening the heart chakra, opening this loving being, is stop living life to please others. Stop living life to please others. And it's so interesting because, you know, a lot of people will say this, but let me just explain deeply with you guys here. We subconsciously please people all the time. Think about it. When we post on social media, are you expecting someone to like something? Are you expecting someone to see something? You know, even myself, I catch myself sometimes doing that. I'm like, Shika, no, like you're looking outside of yourself for gratification. And where does that come from? Inner child. It could be, you know, and this is actually something I'm going to open up with you guys, and I'm really excited to share this. I had a healing last week, and it was such a deep healing. And when I was healing through it, one thing that came up that was a big reminder that I already knew, but it's another thing to know something that you have to heal in shadow work and to actually go into it. And when I was sitting here, I felt this energy come through, and it was like, you don't feel like anyone wants to play with you. And it brought me to a memory when I was in the sandbox, probably 4 or 5 years old, and none of the kids at school wanted to play with me because of the way I looked and the color of my skin and the way I was being. And it was something that was so heartbreaking, because I see kids and they're just so magical, and like seeing my younger self and seeing myself in that pain just like hurt my heart so much, and it made so much sense. She felt like she was different and she was not loved, and because of that inner child wound, she felt that in the years of living her life, in her teen years and moving into her younger adulthood years, that she had to go outside of herself to get gratification from other people. And then that's where the judgment comes, that's where the guilt comes, you know, wanting to go above and beyond for others and doing more for others. And another big thing that came up was like this judgment that was going in, and like, okay, well, like, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not skinny enough, like all these things that come into the space. Like my chest, I used to not like my chest. I never really used to love them. I used to remember going shopping, and if anyone else resonates with this, and having to like be sad in the change room because everything didn't fit, because my chests were bigger than most people. And I was like, wow, this really makes me feel uncomfortable, and like it made me feel really sad about myself. So I mourned and I grieved and I allowed myself to hold myself in that space, and I told her I love her. But you know, the reason why when I said I love you in a mantra and used that affirmation, it was so powerful at that time, is because I did enter that resistance. I did enter that lack of self-love. And that's how you heal it. It's not about just understanding, creating the affirmations, doing the meditations. It's actually leaning into that pain, being there. And I keep telling a lot of people who do healings with this, like, this is what shadow work's all about. Getting to the root of something, embracing it and processing the emotion, because you didn't get to process it because it was so traumatic and so emotionally like grieving for you, and holding into it and breathing through it and releasing it. And once you do that, then you can hold space for the enlightenment. Then you can hold space for that divine, delicious, amazing love, unconditional love. But until then, you have to ensure that you're releasing that, you know, the grief, the part of the truth that yourself has to release, because subconsciously it will just keep eating through us. And this is something that I wanted to write down as well. Like, how do you know that you are going outside of yourself for other people and not loving yourself? Well, I mentioned it a bit with one of my clients today. Boundaries. Like, are you creating boundaries in your life, or are you going above and beyond just to please other people? Judgment. Are you judging yourself every time you do something? Are you always like looking around feeling self-conscious about yourself? Guilt. Do you act on things and do things because you feel that person will judge you, or because you feel that yourself, your younger self, had a point where it felt guilty and it's triggering that? So every time we hold space, if you're being triggered to go into your ego to kind of like keep things all together to please other people, most likely you have to work in the heart. Maybe you have to work into the loving space. And lastly is abandonment. A lot of people have this wound, and I've seen it, I've experienced it through my shadow work, and it's the feeling that you are not good enough and someone will leave you. It could be your partner, it could be something you're working with right now, it could be you know, your family as you go through the shadow work and you're kind of nervous that you've changed so much. Like, will they actually love me? Will they actually accept me? Well, that's a part that we have to understand, that this is the healing, right? We're loving, we're opening the heart. The self-love, unconditional love is everything. As long as you love yourself, you honor the textures of your emotions and the being that you have right here, then you're going to automatically, you know, align with that vibration, and the people that love you will always love you in that space, and they will also transform. There's a lot of times when I go through my healing and I notice, wow, like my parents have shifted because I've released this perspective that they were out to get me. No, it was because they were in a pain space, and they were also in grief, they were also in sadness, and they didn't know anything else but that. And that is not their fault. But do I allow myself to honor my guilt and not be guilty for them and feel bad for them, but rather create a boundary and saying, no, I'm going to love myself. I know my energy is going to be affected here. I'm going to go do some self-love massage. I'm going to go do my meditation in the sun. I'm going to go do the affirmations, because by then, by acting on releasing that energy and by acting, by creating those boundaries, you are holding space to actually love yourself. Not outside of yourself, but love yourself from within. And that's what within means. Within is acting because you truly, authentically want to do whatever you're doing. And to you, that is defined as self-care. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I could go on and on about love. If you guys would like me to answer more questions about how to love yourself, I would love to do more videos on this, because it's something that I continuously have to remind myself that, am I doing this for myself? Or am I doing this for others to get that, you know, get that like check, oh yeah, that person did that, like getting that gratification from someone else. Because in all, whether it's the money and the making, you know, the dreams and all these things, at the end of the day, if it has to come from the heart. And that's really why we're here. That's why we're having this human experience, is to enjoy that loving energy. And I saw a video, one last thing before I end the video, I saw this video from someone on Instagram, and she was basically saying, like, I feel like life is all about that blue pill and red pill in the Matrix.
What it is.
If you watch The Matrix, put a star emoji down below. But we're choosing, right? We're choosing this duality of life, and it's like we either have to choose the red pill or the blue pill, but there's no difference between the pills. The only difference is you perceive that if you choose one or the other, that it's going to, you know, affect your willingness or your life, right? So we have to understand that as like kind of like our choice, right? We have a choice to love ourselves. We have a choice to learn how to love ourselves and start today. But are we going to just sit there and allow the people behind to control what the pill is, or to make you think that one pill is better than the other, or one pill means this and one pill means another thing? Like, you define what the love is for you. You define the self-acceptance, and no matter what pill you choose, as long as you decide that and you feel that it connects with you, and that's what makes you happy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love that. There's so many analogies with that Matrix. I love that movie. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, as well as put notification bells. I do 3 or more videos every single week for you amazing, beautiful souls, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.